All right, I'm done. I'm done making crypto videos. I'm serious, okay? You might be asking why this is here. But before we get into that, I have to tell you guys that I'm done, okay? I wrote some notes here so I don't go too far off the rails this video, but I'm done making crypto videos. Why? Well, honestly, it's just simply a waste of my time at this point. Not getting enough viewers, the videos aren't being as well received as I hope, but I mean, that's okay. But I have better things to do with my time than trying to convince you guys that my thesis is right or whatever, that I got it right on crypto, okay, whatever. I don't need to do that. Time will tell, you know, if I was right or not. And I'm okay with that. I'll let time, as things goes on and things play out, I'll let that be the judge of if I was right or wrong. All right, but I have bigger things to get to. Master Your Reality's always been bigger than just crypto. And it's time that we graduate, so to speak, from the limitations of just crypto content. So that's why I'm done. This will be my last crypto video. But for the people that actually enjoy my videos, my crypto videos, I truly thank you for watching. And I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I hope my videos have helped you see and understand this market for what it truly is. I hope that they've actually helped you understand this market better and make better and more informed investment decisions for yourself, which I still believe will pay off if you can be patient enough. Okay, obviously I've been wrong on all the timing of everything, but my original thesis still stands, and I think if you can be patient enough, you will see it play out. But I just have to make sure I leave on a strong note. So I'm gonna explain everything one last time for the people in the back. For you stubborn motherfuckers with your fingers in your ears who haven't been paying attention and don't have any XRP or any ISO 222 token yet. Okay? This video is for you. So, for you stupid motherfuckers, all right? Anyway, much love, all right? So, we're gonna be comparing Bitcoin and XRP throughout this whole video, back and forth, because that's the comparison you have to make to actually understand this market, okay? You have to compare the current king, the current, you know, placeholder, the top of the throne, with the next in line to understand what's really going on, okay? So before we get into that though, speaking of that, this is my degree, okay? Just to give all you doubters out there some proof that I know something about what I'm talking about, okay? So, graduated from Texas A&M University in 2023 with a bachelor's degree in telecommunications, media studies, all right? There's my name right there. Trevor, whatever, you can see my name, I don't care, all right? But this is a degree, Bachelor of Arts, Telecommunication Media Studies. See that? Telecommunication Media Studies. There's the ring to prove it, all right? All right, so I just wanted to show you that so that we're on the same page here. All right, because I know what I'm talking about, all right? And I have this to prove it. All right, so that's all well and good. Now, one of the classes I took while I went to that fine school, and by the way, I'm still trying to figure out a way how to make money with that piece of paper, okay? But we're getting there, all right? Now, while I was at that fine school, one of the classes I took was called Technology and Communication. And it was basically just going over different types of technology for communication. But one of the big core chapters of that class was blockchain technology. Okay, so I got from a professor, I hate that I can't remember this professor's name. This was during COVID, so it was like we had to do virtual classes. Okay, I much rather prefer in person, but this class unfortunately was only offered virtual. So that's how it was, but it was still great, still got a lot from it. And we learned all about blockchain. We learned all about blockchain. But that class, I had been aware of crypto, but my understanding of crypto was just that, oh, there was like 16-year-olds making millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars on this little USB device during, 2020, the 2020 bull run. That was all I had known about it until I took this class. This class made me understand the foundation that shaped my entire investment thesis into this space, okay? And I'm gonna share that with you today. So, here's my thesis, all right? Blockchain adoption at scale has not taken place yet, okay? We're gonna call this utility. Utility, all right? Which we don't have it yet, all right? I mean, we have it, but not at scale. We don't have all the money operating in this new financial system yet, okay? But it's coming. So, this entire market is currently being driven, the prices of these coins are currently driven entirely by speculation, okay? Shit. All right, speculation. That's what is running this whole market, and it will continue to run the market, but here's a critical point, all right? Utility will always create speculation, but speculation can never create utility. All right, let that sink in. Let's continue. And this thesis is evident with the current structure of the market. You have the #1 cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, okay? The highest market cap crypto. What's its utility? What does it do? Well, they say it's a store of value. That's correct, okay? So far, Bitcoin, apologize if you guys hear the jet. So far, Bitcoin has been the world's best store of value that an asset has ever been, at least in recent times, okay? Probably ever. All right, so Bitcoin has been, but it depends when you bought, right? It depends when you bought it. For some people, it has been the best store of value because it's grown so much in value over a long period of time. For others, most people, it's been a horrible store of value because most people, unfortunately, buy the top. They buy when prices are high and everyone's talking about it. And then what do? The insiders, the people know how to navigate these markets, they dump on the rest of the people. Okay, they use it for exit liquidity and they get out. They sell their big bags, and you hear stories about billionaires created from Bitcoin. They bought early. They found it early, okay? And they studied the technology, all right? Bitcoin's a revolutionary technology, okay? I'm not bashing Bitcoin here, okay? But the early people studied it, they got it, and they put their money in it because they believed it. They didn't put their money in it because of the price. That's the important thing here. They didn't put their money in it because of the price. They put their money in it because they believed in the technology, okay? So, here's the thing, all right? So, this entire market's been currently driven by speculation, but when it comes, but when utility comes, okay, when this thing happens at a mass scale, it will be reflected in the price of the currency, of the crypto, okay? Especially if the tokenomics, which will then fuel further speculation for that cryptocurrency and all cryptocurrencies that end up being utilized at a significant scale. All right, basically, I don't know if that made sense or not, but basically, when this thing finally happens, right, when we have mass adoption, which only a few tokens are going to get mass adoption, okay? The ones that actually work, the ones that have good utility. And we're about to get into that, how you can find those. But only the ones with good utility are going to reflect, or the only ones that actually get used are going to have some kind of significant price action to reflect that. The ones that don't get used, well, no one's using them, so their price is not going to reflect that, okay? It's going to be just a illusion of speculation surrounding it until people realize, oh, it's not being used. Why don't I put my money in one that is being used? Duh. All right. So, cryptocurrencies that are fueled by speculation and hype, which is currently all of them, okay? Because remember, utility always creates speculation, but speculation never creates utility. So currently everything right now is being fueled by speculation. People don't know what it's going to be, right? People are making guesses, right? I mean, that's all we can do at this point until utility actually comes. The best thing we can do is just do research, do good research, and put your money where you think the money's going to go. That's the best thing you can do. All right? But cryptocurrencies that are fueled by speculation and hype, currently all blockchains, do not end up being used in any significant way, will become essentially worthless. That's the risk of investing in this market, is picking the wrong one, picking something that is gonna get nowhere. All right, and what does it come down to? It comes down to, this is a technology, okay? Blockchain is a technology.
All right.
Utility creates speculation, but speculation cannot create utility. All right. Now, blockchain is a technology. Blockchain is a network. All right?
Blockchain is
an ecosystem. All right? Shit. All right, blockchain's it's a technology, first and foremost. This isn't a natural resource, okay? This is something humans have created. It is a revolutionary technology. It is also a network. Think like a layer of the internet, okay? Like TCP/IP, HTTP, right? You have the email protocol. Like, these are protocols. These are things that can do other things. They're networks, but there's a key difference with the blockchain network versus other networks, which we'll get into. And then it's an ecosystem, okay? It's an ecosystem, but that's where it gets complicated. You should really just stick to these two. You should really just stick to thinking of them as technologies and networks, because this is where things get complicated, all right? Then you start thinking about the community and the price and the, you know, oh, this next announcement, the rumors and stuff. That's where most people get, right? Most people get stuck in the ecosystem, because the ecosystem is the fun, exciting part of it. It's not boring, okay? This is boring. The technology and the network and learning about how these things work is boring, all right? But that's the most important part. Most people are so wrapped up in the hype and speculation of these things and rumors and crazy conspiracy theories that they lose sight of this. This is the important part, the most important thing, okay? Let me check the camera real quick, make sure we're still rolling. All right, we're still going. Okay, so this following what I'm about to say, this is my big realization that taking that class in college made me understand, okay? It's blockchain is the world's first untamperable, I should write this down, untamperable shared communication technology. Jeez, all right. All right, so here's my little pointer. Untamperable. Let's dive into this, okay? Untamperable. You can't with it, all right? It's a distributed ledger where there's thousands of computers, some on a good one, you know, hundreds of computers, hundreds to thousands of computers that are working to validate this network to make sure that every single node, every computer on that network is all in agreement that everything's all good on the network, that this is the right copy of the ledger. And you know, in order for someone to tamper with it, you'd have to hack all the, or you know, whatever the threshold is, where Bitcoin 51%, XRP's like 80%, 81% or something. You'd have to hack 81% of the validators, the nodes on the network to tamper with it. You know how hard that is? It's crazy hard, especially when you have a new block being created every 3 to 5 seconds like XRP, all right? Bitcoin's a different story, all right? So, sorry, we'll keep going. Now, what is it that it's communicating, right? It's a communication, shared. It's shared because it's public. It's basically like anyone can access and use this technology. That's what shared means. It's a public thing. It's not a private network. Private networks are good, they're secure, but they're private, you know? You have to, it requires some level of trust and passwords and stuff and access to it. And once you're in, then you can tamper with it. But so it's shared, it's untamperable and public. You know how powerful the combination is? Untamperable and shared. It's like a public good. It's amazing, okay? It's a communication technology. What is it communicating? Well, it's communicating a ledger. It's communicating a database that is just so happens to be perfect for keeping track of numbers and who owns what and things like that, you know, ownership and value transfer, all right? That's what it's perfect for. Also validating data and stuff. That's another use case. That's like that's a more hidden, the lesser talked about use case is the data verification part. Shout out to Constellation, all right? And any DAG, I guess, HBAR, IOTA, whatever. Anyway, let's keep moving here. What are the implications of this? Hopefully you've already guessed right now. This has the potential to revolutionize global trade and finance, okay? That's what I understood all those years ago at A&M, is that this technology has the potential to revolutionize the entire financial system. And it is. It's going to, all right? It is. All right, so those are the, that's what it is, all right? All right, let's erase this. I'm gonna leave this because this is the most important thing, all right? Let's keep going here. All right, so we got
downsides or difficulties.
All right, downsides and difficulties, and then you have
Bottlenecks. All right.
You got downsides and difficulties, and then you got bottlenecks, okay? The downsides and difficulties is whatever Ripple or Ethereum network foundation, whatever entity is behind the blockchain, behind the network, supporting it, right? The developers, that's what they have to worry about. They also have to worry about the bottlenecks too, but this is their primary focus, I guess. I mean, both these things are, but anyway. The downside, this is things that make this difficult. What makes it difficult to run a decentralized network, okay? You have to have I hope you guys are taking notes, by the way.
Extensive, distributed, physical infrastructure.
You have to have extensive, distributed, all over the place, physical infrastructure, actual computers, physical mining, well, not for mining, but you know, you have to have actual computers that are dedicated to running this network. That's a big cost. That's a big cost, okay? And you got all kinds of issues with that, all right? Now, another thing.
You have to have distributed? No, what you need is evenly decentralized. Wait a minute. No, this should be distributed.
This should say decentralized.
Decentralized.
Jesus Christ, sorry, Mike, you can't read that.
This is distributed. That says distributed. Cooperation. Evenly. Oh, it has to be fair. All right.
Fair. Evenly distributed cooperation. All right? You have to have that. What else do you have to have? Then you have to have the ability to adapt, the ability to make changes as time goes on, to adapt, okay?
Adaptation.
All right, adaptation. Because things change, right? You know, you find out that the banks really want privacy, and so then you gotta build something for that, all right? You find out that quantum computing is a threat, so then you gotta do something for that. I mean, you know, there's things change, and in order to keep that network at the top of its game, you sometimes have to make changes to it. That's something that Bitcoin is really bad at, okay? And partly because there's no guiding central authority like you have with Ripple. All right, now even though Ripple's a guiding central authority, they still can't control XRP Ledger. They're still only running a certain percentage of the network, not enough to control it if they wanted to. Anyway, we're getting off the rails. Now let's talk about performance bottlenecks, okay? So you have efficiency, you have stability, and you have liquidity. All right? All right, so these are like two separate things, all right? This is once you have this down, then it becomes a question, well, is this good? Is this down, right? Is this locked in? You have to lock in this before you can lock in that, all right? Because this is really what comes down to the bottlenecks, comes down to a question is, can it scale? And what does it look like when it scales? When you bring on millions of users and billions of dollars moving through the network. What does that actually look like on that network, right? That's where you run into bottlenecks. Is it efficient enough? Is it the price going to be stable enough? Is there enough liquidity, all right? All right, currently Bitcoin is the most liquid crypto asset, all right? So it's beating XRP in that regard, but, and stability is a weird one because like, is any crypto really stable? Well, not really yet. Maybe one day it will be. But efficiency kind of takes care of that problem for XRP when used as a bridge, because while Bitcoin, I mean, shit, even though it says like, oh, 10 minutes for a block to close, it could take hours for the transaction to actually settle when the network gets busy, right? It also can cost anywhere from, did I write this down? Yeah. We'll get into that in a second, but XRP is way more efficient. Anyway, I was gonna bring a dollar down here, because I'm not going to go into like I'm not going to go into all the obvious connections that you should make to actually want to research this stuff. Like the fact that Rosie Rios, the 43rd treasurer of the United States, whose name, like, go, if you have cash lying around, pull out a dollar bill or any note, right? And look whose name is in the bottom left signature, all right? It's more likely than not it will be Rosie something Rios, all right? It looks, it's Rosie Rios' signature that is on the most of the dollar bills and currency that is in circulation, okay? But like, you can find out yourself. And what does that have to do? She's on the board of Ripple. She's on the board of Ripple, and there's videos of her saying, oh, XRP is created to serve a purpose, XRP, you know? So it's like, how much more obvious can you get? Now, this is not a video telling you to only buy XRP, right? You should never put all your eggs in one basket. That's why having a distributed, a well-diversified portfolio is important, right? Because we don't know if it's going to be XRP. Looks like it. All right. Now, so this is how you find. There's plenty of stuff like that, but This is how you actually find the projects that will be successful, okay? First, you have to research how they are handling these things. These are the most difficult things to handle, all right? So how are they handling them? Well, let's compare Bitcoin and XRP, all right? An extensive, decentralized physical infrastructure. Well, Bitcoin has, yes, Bitcoin checks that box, 100%, all right? It has an extensive physical infrastructure of computers that are decentralized all across the world. Check. Well done, Bitcoin. Now, evenly distributed cooperation. This is where Bitcoin starts running into issues, all right? Because you have mining pools on Bitcoin, which defeats the purpose of decentralization. Now you can have the biggest and most wealthiest mining companies create a pool, and so instead of you with your little, piece of shit miner waiting for your Bitcoin to be mined or whatever, you might wait years and never make any money, okay? Until you get your mine block. But if you join a mining pool, now you can make money immediately based off of whatever infrastructure you have, because the whole pool is now sharing the profit. The problem with that, though, and I'm not a technical expert on this, so I can't say that this is the case for sure, but the problem that I see is now you have a central authority that is probably has some way to control all the other miners within that pool. Do your own research. It's still not a good look. It's like, what happens if that pool, has issues or whatever? I don't know. But it's not a good look when you look at the hash rate distribution and you see that only 2 mining pools control more than 50% of the network. All right? It just doesn't look good. Does XRP have a extensively decentralized physical infrastructure? Hell yeah. All right. They got nodes down in Antarctica, probably, rumored, okay? They got the SEC running a node. They probably have the military running a node that we don't even know about. They have universities running nodes. XRP, I think, is better because it has major institutions and governments actually participating in the network instead of just some random Joe in his garage, right? Now, evenly distributed cooperation. Yes, XRP checks that box with flying colors because each node, there's no mining pools in XRP. Each validator on the XRP ledger has an equal share of the control, the power of that network. They each get an even slice of the pie, which is exactly what you want if you want the most resilient network. Now, adaptation. Adaptation, yep. This is where Ripple comes in. This is where you have a team behind the project that's saying, hey guys, this is what we should be doing. And everyone else can still disagree with them, okay? They can still get things voted against them. But it just makes for a better system when everyone agrees that, okay, this is the leader, or this is the leader. Sometimes we should follow the leader, and sometimes we shouldn't, all right? But it makes it much more easier to discuss these things when you have a clear leader, someone who's being a leader and taking charge and saying, hey, we're building the software for this blockchain, even though it's not our blockchain to control or whatever. We're helping banks build software for this. We're doing this, we're doing that. They can still be wrong and the network be okay. Because then you have other people, hopefully independent thinking people that aren't just blindly following the leader, right? That actually care about this infrastructure. And when, God forbid, the leader messes up, you got those other leaders there to say, hey, this is not what we should be doing, right? That's how a healthy ecosystem operates, okay? The problem with Bitcoin is that no one's the leader. Satoshi said, see you later, I'm going to work on something else, right? So the leader with Bitcoin ditched everyone. Well, what does that leave you with? You got a bunch of people infighting and can't agree on shit, right? All right, so I'm sorry I'm getting so heated about this. This is like what's been building up in me for all these years, and so I finally get to share it with you guys. All right, so once you figure out these things, that your project is handling these things in a way that seems good, then you can focus on the bottlenecks, okay? how well, how efficient is the asset, right? That's super important. That's probably the most important thing, because if it takes an hour, several hours, and an unpredictable amount of money to use it, right? Like Bitcoin, where when the network gets really busy, right? When it starts to actually scale, it doesn't work, okay? The transactions can fail. The transactions can cost like $50 or whatever. It's even worse. Well, I think Ethereum's fixed a lot of stuff, but still, it's like, it just leaves a bad taste in people's mouth when these things are bad from the start. So, I don't know. But anyway, let's get back on the rails. It's like an hour versus 3 to 5 seconds. $5 versus a fraction of a penny to move the same amount of money. It's a no-brainer, okay? For as far as utility goes, all right? Which ones they're actually going to use. Then you have stability, all right? Now, stability basically is like, okay, obviously what crypto is actually stable right now. Most of them are not stable. They're super volatile, and stability is a problem for sure. But with adoption, with utility, with tokenization of billions of dollars worth of assets, with the speculation, the money inflow that comes with utility, then it makes the asset more stable, right? I don't think they're ever gonna be like a flat line price stable coin. That's why stable coins exist. So that you can hold a actual stable. That's why tokenized things exist, right? But the efficiency part is really important with the stability, because if you're going to use an asset to send value and you don't really care about a long-term investment in that asset, you want to get in and out of that asset as quickly as possible. You don't want to be stuck in it for hours like Bitcoin, So it's a no-brainer with that. Now, liquidity is super important, because that's what comes with stability, with price appreciation. You get more liquidity. All right, so Bitcoin is got the crypto game beaten in terms of liquidity right now. But I mean, still, then you have to compare, okay, well, is the fee, like how much am I gonna lose in the fee? How much am I gonna lose if it's volatile and the price crashes before my transaction settles? So it's like liquidity is a question of how much money can you actually move through the ecosystem without, and what does that look like, right? Are you gonna lose money? Is it gonna take too long, right? That's liquidity. It's kind of complicated, but think of it like that. And then you have, that's it. But like, these are the things that's important. All right, most people are way too focused on price like, everyone cares about price. Like, bro, who cares about price if this is all jacked up with whatever you're putting your money in? This is what y'all need to be focusing on, because this is what determines the price. The price is just all speculation. It's whatever the market thinks it is, right? But the market is wrong a lot of times. And the people with this information have the real information that is going to allow them to predict what the market may do as this information and this utility, right? Because with this information when this is all good, that brings utility. It allows the people that study this information to predict where the money's gonna move, right? You don't have that with speculation. All you have is technical analysis. So, all right. So, I guess the next thing is, what does utility price action actually look like? Okay, I talk about this magical day in the future when prices are driven by utility and not speculation. All right, I get that, but here's what I think it's actually going to realistically look like. All right, I don't think there's going to be some crazy flip of the switch revaluation, to $1,000 or whatever. I mean, maybe, and if that happens, cool, but I'm not counting on that. I don't think that's going to happen. All right, what I think is going to happen is you have the institutions and major players that are going to actually use this technology. The insiders, right, the CEOs and the big insiders or whatever, they're going to be the first to know the date, right? They're going to be the first to know when it's actually going to be put into effect, when the largest amount of money is going to come into it. They're going to know the date. They're going to buy first, okay? It's going to be the insiders of these institutions and stuff that buy first. So you'll see a massive price increase from those people buying. Then there's a trickle-down effect, right? So there's a trickle-down effect where then they tell their friends and family, hey, got to buy this thing, you know. Maybe they don't, but some will. So, you know, but it trickles down. And before we even know why the price is going up, all right, we're not even going to know why the price is going up. And then they'll announce it. They'll, boom, here's the news. Swift is using XRP or something like that. You know, whatever. The Treasury, U.S. Treasury adopts XRP for payment. Something like that, okay? You'll see some big news like that. And by the time you get the news, the price will have already moved up a lot, okay? And then you'll get another wave from retail buying from that news. Now, it really depends how big the news is, if the insiders are going to let, because it depends on if the buying pressure from retail actually has the ability to push the price up even further. Probably will with a big announcement like that, okay? Definitely, I would think so. So then the insiders are going to let retail push the price even up, and then they'll probably give you some more news to make you think that it's going even higher. That's when they're going to sell. That's when they're going to dump it on you. All right? So, but that's why if you just focus on the price, like you're gonna miss out somewhere, you know, when you could focus on the real important stuff that's going to determine the future price and just focus on accumulating the asset, right? Take the price anxiety that comes with that out of the equation and just focus on having the things that you think are going to actually be used, so that when they are being used and everyone finds out they're being used, you'll be there to experience the price increase. I don't know, it seems like a no-brainer to me. And yeah, so that's basically what happens. Now the big question, right, will there be institutional emergency accumulation? Will the institutions have a coming to XRP moment and realize, oh my God, we didn't even accumulate this thing. We've been on the sidelines, whatever. Now we got to have a bunch of this to make everything work. Maybe that will happen. But that's a big if, all right? I would say more likely than not, they're already aware of it. They're already in the circles and stuff, and they're already talking about it. They're already aware of it. They've already had the coming to XRP moment. I would put my bets on that than not. But that doesn't mean that some of them haven't. Okay, I would say the big ones have, and there's probably a few that are just out of the loop still. You know, what can you do? But like with the news thing, you know, back to like when they finally make the announcement, okay? They've already made the announcement. They've already made countless announcements. Oh, Ripple's working with this. Ripple partnered with this. Ripple's partnered with 200 banks or whatever. It's like they've already told you, but you're too focused on the freaking price to think that that's real. You know, it's like oh, there's this idea that if that was true, then the price would show it. Well, okay, just because they partnered with them doesn't mean that the money's actually flowing through the network yet. It just means that they're getting ready for that. That's it, okay? You guys are so focused on the price of these things, you forget the most important part, the fundamentals. All right, now, so here it is, guys. Once you understand what the technology actually is, all right, once you look at this stuff and this stuff, it becomes clear. Okay, sorry. Once you understand what the technology is at a foundational level, it's a network, okay? It's a what was it? Untamperable shared communication technology. All right, that's what it is. So treat it like that. Don't treat it like a meme coin or something that just has a price associated with it. You know, there's a lot of things that go into the price. So focus on those things. And that is these things, right? So once you figure out what this technology actually is, then you can focus on what you need to be studying inside the technology to gauge whether it will be successful or not. All right? Not price. It's not price. All right? It's fundamentals, utility, security, partnerships, boring shit. Okay? Who wants to go study utility and security? Oh, this is this blockchain's consensus mechanism. It uses a federated Byzantine consensus mechanism. This is the Algorand pure proof of stake consensus mechanism. This is how it works, you know. This is the DAG constellation hypergraph. Right? Like, it's boring stuff, but that's the stuff that the institutions are paying their experts to go and look. Hey, if we actually use this technology, what's it going to look like, right? In order to figure that out, you have to study the technology, okay? So that's it. I'm not going to go any further, all right? I've said all I need to say. I've released it from my heart, okay? If it doesn't vibe with you, then I'm sorry, all right? I have to give several shout outs because this is my last crypto video. So these are people that get it. These are the real crypto content creators that understand the technology, that understand that it's not about price, it's about fundamentals and looking at the partnerships, the technology, the utility, the important things. All right. So first and foremost, Coach JV and the entire 3T Warrior Academy. Coach JV was how I found XRP to begin with, okay? So none of this would be possible without you, dude. Thank you. The digital asset investor, the GOAT, okay? He's the GOAT, all right? Been here since what, like 2017, 2018? Or no, he's been in crypto. God, he's like an OG, bro. The OG XRP content creator. I would give the award to digital asset investor. All right, you can't have digital asset investor without mentioning digital perspectives, okay? Citizen of the future, much lesser known creator, but still, guy goes deep and actually goes into the technology and looks at the papers and everything. And all right, shout out to Citizen of the Future. Shout out to Tokenizer, another very deep researcher. Shout out to notfinancialadvice.crypto, all right? Probably one of the most famous XRP videos ever created. Why do I own XRP? All right. And he's making some fascinating videos now, more into like the riddles and stuff, which I love it. But you got Black Swan Capitalist Brothers. Big shout out to them. All right. Big shout out to Versan. The Staple Crew. The Staple Crew, bro. Shout out to you. All right. Mickle. Shout out to Mickle. Shout out to Nathan Phillips, another more lesser known, big into the Q&T crowd. Molly Elmore, much love, Molly, thank you. Mel Carmine, fist bump to Mel Carmine. The Bearable Bull. Bro, you gotta love the Bearable Bull, bro. You gotta love the Bearable Bull. All right, shout out to the Bearable Bull. What else we got? Zach Rector, big shout out to Zach Rector. Darren Moore Jr., RIP, bro. That guy was a legend. Jake Claver. Big shout out to Jake Claver. Shout out to Extra VOD, another OG on YouTube. Shout out to Bank XRP on YouTube and X. Shout out to Crypto Bear. Okay, if you guys want a hidden gem, for XRP research, look up Crypto Bear on YouTube and watch all his videos. Okay, because he goes into like the foundational days of Ripple and shows you the real important shit. The Working Money channel. Big shout out to Working Money channel. Shout out to Kevin Cage. Hell yeah. Shout out to King Solomon, Ryan Solomon. Shout out to Dagnum PI on X for the DAG community. And then this guy, whoever this guy is, gets a huge thank you. XX_1133_1221_11 on X. Big shout out, much love to you, brother, for making all those graphics, you know, whenever you made those, and still today, you know, you're still posting stuff. I hope you never stop, you know, sharing your research with us. So thank you for that. So yeah, as you can tell, I listen to the right people. I know I missed, I missed some, okay? I didn't name everyone, so I'm sorry if I missed you. But these are the real crypto content makers that understand when researching what to buy, that the important thing is not the chart, it's the fundamentals. But at the same time, I also have to give a huge shout out to the technical analysis. All right, it's a shorter list, I promise. But I have to give a shout out to the TAs in the space, because once you figured out what to buy, then you got to figure out when's the best time to buy it, you know, and technical analysis can really come in handy for that. The question becomes, when is the best time to buy? And that's where technical analysis comes in, which is also a valuable skill that takes a very special breed of human to be disciplined, consistent, and emotionally intelligent enough to be successful at. So of course I have to give a massive thank you to Waters Above Crypto, of course, probably the best in the game. Blockchain Backer, huge shout out to Blockchain Backer. The Crypto Sniper, hell yeah. And then a lesser known one that I've been watching his content more of lately, Metashackle. All right, so those are pretty much the only guys I listen to for TA though. I do my own TA now most of the time. But yeah, if I ever want to hear someone else's opinion, those are the guys I go to. Those are the daily, you know, consistently posting videos, spending a lot of time in the charts, okay? It's a lot of time in the charts to be good at TA. So thank you. So that's it, guys. I'm done with crypto videos. I might do one in the future, maybe, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm releasing all my need to make crypto content. All right, because if you haven't figured it out by now, you're probably too late. All right, I'm just sorry, probably too late if you haven't gotten some XRP by now. You're not too late right now. All right, you still got, it's still under $5. XLM is still under $1, so you're not too late yet. But I feel like we're getting close. Okay. I've been saying that for years though. Now, if you're watching this in the future though, and you are too late, it's okay. Don't sweat it, bro. Like there's probably way more better things by now for you to be focusing your attention on and investing your time in than cryptocurrency, okay? So you didn't really miss out on anything. All right, there's way better things you can focus your energy on to have an abundant and fulfilling life, which is what I want Master Your Reality to focus on now, okay? I'm doing this video to let the people know in the future, it's my last crypto video because of those people who are going to miss out on crypto, all right? I want to make something for you guys in the future so that you have, you know, something that you can spend your investment time on. I'm not going to just continue to make crypto videos and be like, oh yeah, see, I was right. I'll let time prove that, bro. I don't need to prove I'm right. God's gonna got me. Anyway, so yeah, I want my future videos to focus on more important things that actually allow you to have an abundant and fulfilling life. And spoiler alert, crypto is not one of those things. It's not one of the things you need to have an abundant and fulfilling life. All right, so I'm gonna be posting my custom, my exit strategy, right? I was gonna make a whole video on this, but I'm not gonna do anymore. Look, you guys can make this yourself. It's literally just, I call it my custom exit portfolio tracker and exit strategy spreadsheet. Custom Excel portfolio tracker and exit strategy spreadsheet. All right, I'll be posting that in the Discord, okay? For everyone that's in there already, you guys are gonna get that. It's cool. I mean, it's what I'm gonna be using to keep track of everything is the prices moon, because you need a plan. You need an exit strategy plan, okay? You can't just say I'm gonna wing it, because then your emotions are gonna screw you. All right, so you need a plan. You need to, while the prices are low like this, now's the perfect time for you to make your own plan. And I've made a Excel sheet that will let you, put all your holdings in there. It's private. It's not online or anything. So it's just something you can download offline to keep track of everything. You can put all your holdings in there. It actually has a formula that shows you the price live for that token. And so you keep track of it there. And then you don't have to use that if you don't want to. It's all customizable. But then it has like 4 exit targets. So you have like a take profit or a de-risking target. You got to take profit 1, take profit 2, and then you can have like a moon bag or take profit 3, and then it has a last column for you to whatever you want to hold forever, right? If you don't want to sell a certain amount. So that'll be in the Discord over the next few days. Yeah, it's nothing fancy, but it does the job to give you a clear exit strategy plan. So when prices do go to the moon, you won't be freaking out and looking up, should I sell on YouTube? That's what you don't want to be doing. All right. But that's it, guys. That's it. Much love. Much love, for real. Thank you so much for being with me through all these crypto videos. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was a journey for you. But we're moving on to bigger things. So just remember, always remember that God is the master of all realities. You are the master of your reality. And together, we got this. You gon' miss out on owning XRP. I can see so clearly, I hold on so dearly. Nobody thinks it matters, but it does severely. I can see so clearly, I hold on so dearly. Nobody thinks it matters, but it does severely. This is a new market that is undeveloped. Wait until institutional investors step in. How is XRP even a better option? That's a great question, let me see where to begin. Faster, cheaper, scalable, sustainable, helping make money become more readily available. More than one use case, takes up no space. Better than sending it on a plane in a suitcase. I can think of a number of reasons, but it ultimately comes down to you. I hope you hear my message right now, so you won't have to say that you wish you knew. If you wait till it happens to find out, you will never know how great it can be. If you wait until all of the time's out, you gon' miss out on owning XRP. If you wait till it happens to find out, you will never know how great it can be. If you wait until all of the time's out, you gon' miss out on owning XRP, ILP, IOV, DLT, XRP, IDCA, and HODL, going full throttle. Can't wait to see liquidity spewing out of the nozzle. Can't wait till the cap is blown right off the bottle. So don't say that it can never happen, cause it can easily happen in your sleep. You could get XRP right now for cheap. Some people just not ready to go and take the lead. If you wait till it happens to find out,